Mule's abilities are far beyond anything I can do. Her future was foretold.
Harry wanted you to have a better life than he has.
Listen, I'm a big fan of the series. I've seen 9 of the 10 of season 3, and I really wish I could get into more of that. But for today, it'll be, spoiler free. Just going to say I need to see episode 10 immediately.
You're going to have your mind blown.
I think I've learned a little too much from these interviews, but I'm okay with it. Anyway, moving. So listen, I got a ton of things for you, ton of questions, but I know we're talking about a TV show, but I've been asking this of everyone because a different kind of question. I'm obsessed with getting more people to see movies in movie theaters. So I'm just curious, do you have a favorite movie theater?
I have just moved to Peckham, and there's a Peckhamplex, which is a very affordable movie theatre, and it's massive and gorgeous and a little bit run down and old, but it's like £6 a movie ticket, and it shows everything, and it's never full. So that's probably my favourite one so far. It's a new movie theatre that I've discovered, and I love it here in London.
Moving into the show, one of the things that's really cool about season 3 is the way we learn about so many things in the first 2 seasons in a new way. It pulls back the curtain, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how much did you know when you were filming the answers to these things, and how much were you learning as you're reading these scripts? You're like, get the F out of here.
There's the latter. I did not know any of it. I mean, David was very big on not giving away a lot to us. I don't know if a lot of these other characters knew, but I certainly didn't, and I think it helped me really. I mean, ultimately, because Gaal didn't know, and she finds out with the audience, which is, you see the story through Gaal's eyes for a lot of it, and yeah, so shocking and amazing, and really, really so many twists and turns.
In episode 3, you are meeting with Brother Dawn at a bar, and so what can you tease about that relationship for the season and that meeting?
Well, I mean, Gaal has set out to infiltrate every corner of the galaxy and to train people and put them out and have spies everywhere. She's also set out to lure people in, people that are interested, any people that might want to join and don't know that, and anyone that's curious. And Dawn shows some interest. And he kind of opens the door to that possibility. And the idea of having a Cleon on side is something beyond Gaal's thoughts. She never thought that could ever happen. So it's a lovely little special gift, and it's a secret weapon that she has in her pocket for when the time is right. And it's really, really wonderful to watch that dynamic, especially this version of Dawn who, thinks Gaal is such an not alive anymore, as an ancient being that he's seen in history videos. It's not someone that he'd ever thought he'd encounter. So yeah, it's a really fun little dynamic.
One of the things that is so fantastic about the series, one of the many things, is the production design. And even that set alone is an example of how impressive it is. They have to build, this isn't prefabricated sets. They have to build all of this stuff. So what is it actually like on some of these sets, especially that bar scene?
I mean, that's interesting. That bar is a real bar in Poland, actually. And they dressed it. But it had that design, the walls and the lights and stuff was all the design. I mean, obviously, the set dressing is set dressing, but Rory Shane, who is our set designer, has just an amazing eye for these things. He's just I'm always in awe. He finds the simplest little rooms or simplest little coffee shops or restaurants and creates them and has a vision for them. That wasn't even built. That existed. And yeah, he's just amazing, and it's really cool little scene, because you don't really get to see these characters in spaces like that very often.
They had no idea that was a real set, but that makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
I mean, a real place.
Yeah.
So one of the things about season 3 is shit goes down. And I'm just curious, I hate it's a little generic and I apologize, but what for fans, what do you want to tell people about the 3rd season and you know what I mean, and where it's going?
Well, I would say expect the unexpected. Expect high risk, high reward, I guess. Expect action. Expect, situations that you don't anticipate to go down the way they do. And I think Gaal also has a different side to her, like not a darker side, but just you see the other side of Gaal. Gaal becomes a little bit edgier, and I think that's really cool to see her in that light. One of the things is, since I believe last season, it's been built up, in terms of the Mule. You're fighting the Mule. So what can you tease about this thing that has been teased and built up and must be coming? I mean, you get introduced to him pretty much very quickly in this season, and he is so interesting. Pilou has done such a great job of making him charismatic and dark and awful, and but at the same time, you're kind of intrigued by him. And it's this cat and mouse situation where, he becomes the biggest threat to everyone, not just for Gaal, but Foundation and Empire. And everyone that has been fighting each other kind of focuses onto him. And he becomes the center of, this whole entire story and this whole entire saga. And just watching it unfold is unbelievable. And yeah, it's really exciting. One of the things that I love about the series is that it doesn't water down the sci-fi. It really makes you lean in as an audience member to make sure you're picking up everything. So I'm curious, as an actor on the series, when your character is so involved in both foundations and so involved in everything, what is it actually like getting ready to play a scene? Like, are you being told by someone, okay, this is, you know what I mean? Like, because anyway, I'm just curious, what is it like? Well, I mean, we get to read the scripts and get to do all that stuff. And it's like, when you have the bigger picture and you have all the scripts and you know where the story's going and where your character is, I think it's easier to place and to organize yourself and to get your head around it. I mean, after doing this for 6 years now, I think I've kind of gotten a little bit of a hang of it. But I mean, still, with saying that, it's still complex, and sometimes I have to reread scenes like 4 times to understand what on earth is going on. But yeah, I mean, you have to pay attention. But I think this season, there's a lot more straightforward storytelling. It's a different way because we're not establishing characters. We're not establishing history. We've got all of that already. Now we just get to tell the story that is this takedown of the Mule, and it's amazing because you just see there's a focus, and it's brilliant. What do you think fans are going to think or say after they've seen the season finale? We want more. Yeah, that's what I felt. So I'm going to be like, and now is how I felt. Yeah. So one of the things I would imagine during the making of a show is that there's always going to be a scene or sequence during the filming that becomes a little bit more challenging than you're expecting. So over the course of the 3 seasons, what scene or sequence ended up being just, a little bit more challenging to film than you were expecting? That's an interesting one. I think anything that's at night with a lot of background is always challenging because night shoots are not easy and having a lot of people is not easy. But I think the most challenging for me was probably the scene where Salvo dies. Just because that was just a hard thing in season 2 for me to go through and for Gaal to go through. So it was just building up the whole season to know that was coming was really quite overwhelming, and that was difficult emotionally more than actually physically. But yeah, no, I mean there's a lot of difficult scenes. Stunts are always difficult, and the choreography of that is always a bit overwhelming because you want it to look good, but we've got an amazing stunt team and they make us look amazing, so it's great. They really do. Yeah. I have to stop. I'm just going to say I really hope it's a huge hit this season because I do want more. Yes, me too.